What if the most important book ever written is not the Bible, not the Quran, not Homer's Iliad, but a collection of sacred hymns composed by Hindu seers in the foothills of the Himalayas more than 14,000 years ago? What if those hymns didn't stay in one place? What if their melodies, their very rhythms, traveled across mountains and deserts, across the Mediterranean, entered the royal courts of the ancient Near East, inspired the poetry of Greece, the verse of Rome, and echoed in German literature as recently as 1801? What if science, with computers, with statistical analysis, has now confirmed what Sanatan Hindu Dharma has always known? I'm going to tell you exactly what that evidence is, and I'm going to tell you why the world should be paying far more attention. Welcome to this special edition. Tonight we are going to talk about the Rig Veda, the world's oldest surviving scripture, and the proof, growing with every passing year, that it shaped civilizations far beyond what the textbooks dare to tell you. Stay with me. Let's begin at the beginning. And the beginning in this case is extraordinary. The Rig Veda, 1028 hymns, 10,552 verses, all composed in the most perfect, most scientifically precise language humanity has ever produced, Vedic Sanskrit. UNESCO in 2007 added the Rig Veda manuscripts to its prestigious Memory of the World International Register. When was the Rig Veda composed? Here's where Sanatan Hindu Dharma, in its unbroken, authentic oral tradition, has always held a far greater truth. The Rig Veda, along with the other three Vedas, was first given to humanity as an oral tradition approximately 14,000 years ago. The four Vedas were then formally compiled by the great sage Parasharya Vyasa in 11,190 BCE. 14,000 years. This is the living memory of an unbroken civilizational tradition, a tradition whose sophistication, whose internal consistency, and whose extraordinary scientific content is a testament to its antiquity. So how does the music of the Rig Veda reach the shores of the Mediterranean? How did the sacred rhythms of the Vedic seers end up on a clay tablet in Syria? The answer lies in a kingdom that most people have never heard of, the Mitanni Kingdom. In approximately 1350 to 1340 BCE, the Mitanni Kingdom, what is today northern Syria, southeastern Turkey, and northern Iraq, signed a famous peace treaty with the Hittites, what is modern-day Turkey. And in that treaty, inscribed in clay tablet, appear the names of the invoked divine witnesses: Mitra, Varuna, Indra, Nasatya. These are not generic deities. These are specifically, precisely the Hindu gods mentioned in the Rig Veda. As Dr. Basu himself wrote in his study, the Mitanni left us two gifts. One is the earliest archaeological evidence of the Vedic culture outside India. The other is hymns, which demonstrates how music was able to unite civilizations. Almost all Mitanni kings bore Sanskrit names: Purusha, Tushrata, Suvradata, Indrota, Subandhu, This was not a coincidence. This was the fingerprint of a civilization that had touched the world. At the time of the Mahabharata, about 5,000 years ago, the Vedic Hindu civilization spanned 56 nations across the Asian continent. Think about what that means. While the world was still in early development, the Vedic Hindu civilization had already built an interconnected world. The story doesn't stop at Ugarit or Mitanni Kingdom. The river of the Vedic wisdom kept flowing. Dr. Basu's research demonstrates that the same musical cadences that traveled from Bharat to the Mediterranean did not stop there. Hundreds of years later, the same rhythmic pattern appears in the poetry of the Sappho, the legendary Greek lyric poetess of the 7th century BCE. And I would go further. Music was the first global language because the Rig Veda was humanity's first global scripture. Sanatana Hindu Dharma was not a regional faith. It was the mother of the Hindu civilization. Music and treaties aren't the only evidence. Let me take you around the world. Angkor Wat, Cambodia, the largest Hindu religious monument in the world, built in the 12th century CE as a Hindu temple dedicated to Vishnu. The Khmer Empire was founded on Vedic Hindu Dharma. In Malaysia, the historical kingdom of Kedah was a Hindu kingdom. In Indonesia, Bali remains a living Hindu civilization. A 2024 article in the International Journal of Science and Research Archive argued that Vedic Sanatan Hinduism, Sanatan Hindu Dharma, served as a global dharma, profoundly shaping the course of the world history and spirituality. At the height of the Vedic Hindu civilization, Sanatan Hindu Dharma's economic contribution to the world's total output was 45%. Even by the most conservative mainstream estimates, ancient Hindu civilization contributed to 32% of global GDP in 1 CE. The civilization that gave us the concept of zero, the decimal system, the foundations of algebra, trigonometry, and calculus. This civilization drew its entire intellectual framework from the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda was not just a book of hymns, it was the operating system of human civilization. Now, I must tell you about the most important custodian of this living tradition in our time. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is the living incarnation of the Vedic Hindu tradition. Coronated as the Pontiff and King of 21 ancient Hindu ecclesiastical sovereign institutions and kingdoms, starting from the age of 10, he has spent his life reviving, restoring, and re-establishing the living science of the Rig Veda. In just 27 years of his public life, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, has reached more than 1 billion people in 196 countries. Under his divine guidance, KAILASA, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation, has been revived, dedicated to the preservation, restoration, and revival of the authentic Sanatan Hindu Dharma. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, has proven that the science of the Rig Veda is not ancient history, it is living truth. Now let me bring this together. The Rig Veda is not just the oldest text in the world, it is the foundational document of human civilization. Its music shaped the Mediterranean, its wisdom shaped Southeast Asia, its philosophy shaped the entire world. And today, right now, through the tireless mission of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, and through the living nation of KAILASA, this tradition is being restored to its rightful place at the center of humanity's story. The world may have forgotten, but Sanatan Hindu Dharma endures. Thank you for watching.